Thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. I've been working with Ana Luisa for some time now, but if you don't already know, Ana Luisa is a jewelry brand based in Brooklyn, New York. They have a focus on sustainability, they use recycled materials when they can, and all of the CO2 used in their production is counterbalanced, leading to a carbon neutral impact, so you can shop with a peace of mind for yourself and maybe for somebody else. And you know what is coming up very soon? We should all be preparing for Mother's Day. So it's time to treat your mother, and what better way than some beautiful pieces from Ana Luisa. They have a variety, so if she's more of a minimal gal, they've got that. If she's like some more bold pieces, they've also got that. I've picked out a couple of pieces for my mother. These earrings, I couldn't decide, but I think these ones are the one. The gold is beautiful and definitely her taste. And I also picked out this Capricorn necklace to match mine because I am her daughter and I like astrology, so she can have a part of me, but she's a Capricorn. So very cute, and it came in a little gift box with a beautiful little ribbon. So if you'd like to pick out something from Ana Luisa, click the link in the description of this video, because Ana Luisa is having a buy one get one 40% off, so you can get 2 pieces for her, or you can get one for her and you. So yeah, again, thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video.
Had stained my eyes, but with you it's like I never felt that way. Phone's been ringing 20 times, I don't seem to mind, 'cause you're bothering me in the best way. I can be a fool for the little things you do to get hold of me. Chocolate and roses on a Wednesday night, this feels alright. Baby, I love you so I don't know what to do. You got me falling.
Hello, today is my shop's 1-year anniversary. I have a shop, Kathleen Karstad Shop, where I sell my photography in prints and now bookmarks. And now I have 7, that's a lot, but 7 new bookmarks going up on the shop in a couple of minutes. But I'm gonna be in the train while it goes up, so I can't monitor it, so it's giving me a little bit of anxiety, like I need any more Monday anxiety. Great. I have class today, and I forgot about my project. I like planned it all out for today's assignment, and then I forgot to actually do it. I thought I had done it because I had done so much planning. I don't know, I had 2 weeks to do it, but I had everything laid out already, so I didn't even need to stress about it too much. But anyways, this week it is imperative that I do my frame for my thesis. I have a thesis exhibition in the end of April, but my materials, the thing that I'm gonna put up in the exhibition, is due in 2 weeks time. And I'm making a frame out of clay, so I need to get it done. So therefore, I really just could not get into it, because I have a special interest in that era, maybe a little bit earlier than that, but still, you know, I know a lot about the history of the time and the British Empire and what they were getting up to. So watching that show, it's just, I get it, I get the colorblind casting and everything, but England, you know? So it's really hard for me to just like get over that and like not think about that. I've had 2 people say to me, that's not what the show is about. And it's still what existed at the time, and we're seeing a historically accurate representation in other ways, but not in it. So it's just, do you understand? And I'm like, am I being too sensitive? Because all of the Indian people that I'm seeing on TikTok are like, yeah, I don't go on Twitter. So I'm like, am I being too sensitive? But then I'm like, no, because if this was a Native American actor playing a Native American in the show, that's a no from me, dog. I don't know, there's a whole lot of discourse about it, but after the 3rd episode, my mom and I only watched up to the 3rd episode, and we were like, we're not vibing with this. I just kept seeing clips, you know, the Pride and Prejudice vibe type of clips, and I was like, I'm just gonna power through it. Same with the 1st season. It took me a few episodes to like get into it and just like be able to enjoy the story. So yeah, season 2 is better than season 1, but only because season 1 existed first. So, do you ever feel that, like with books, especially? You're like, the second book was better, but the first book had to have existed first. The books that I just finished, The High Mountain Court by A.K. Milford, good first book, amazing second book, but that second book could have never been the first book. I'm so excited for the third book. It's coming out at the end of April. If you like romance, fantasy, it's got smut, it's got a lot of dark content in it, so be warned. Look up some trigger warnings, but I recommend that. It's so good. But speaking of books, like I said, either I watch a show or I read a book, like I'll listen to an audiobook, and I put in a hold on my library for The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So I'm gonna listen to that, but I also want to pick up the physical book so I can like annotate maybe. I don't really know what it's about, but I'm looking forward to it. You know, any reason to go to Barnes & Noble. You know, I need a book. I need a treatment. It's gonna be a hard week. Some books. Here are the books that I got. I got The Poppy War because I feel like it's finally time that I should do it. And then right as I decided, I was like, we're going to be reading The Poppy War sometime soon. I started seeing people keep saying, this is such a brutal book. And I'm like, I expect that, but now you're scaring me a little bit. I got Ninth House, as I said before. The second book's cover was revealed, and that I was like, that was my sign. I was like, it's time, I should read this. Instead, I've been listening to Crescent Shitty again this morning, so hopefully now I have the book. I'm like, time to read. I'm excited for the Halloween vibes are here today. Also, we're gonna ignore the fact that this wall is blank. I know, I'm maximalist. What is this minimalism shit? I don't know what to put there yet. Okay, it's been a couple months like that. Ugh. Voiceover me. I don't think I ever mentioned that I'm graduating this semester. Like, I'm gonna walk across the stage and wear a cap and gown, but I'm not gonna be finished. I'm gonna go back to Parsons in the fall for one last semester. I just wanted to take my time. I also have my art history minor to finish out, so I'll be back again at the school in fall, even though I will look like I'm graduating. So that's why I'm registering for classes, even though I would technically have been done now. But no, I am not. Christmas. But I got all my classes except for one. It literally disappeared. I could not find the class. I know it was there because I wrote it down, but it's fine. I found a replacement class. Indigenous fashion. Quite fitting, eh? I'm an Indigenous person, and this past few months I've been talking a lot with my mom about stuff. Anyways, goodbye. Going to class, and I might be late. What's new? I didn't even mean to like really do a whole reread, but I'm literally at chapter 60 of 90. I have no self-control. Assumption on, but I opened TikTok the other day. No, this is too small. I can fit in one hand. I opened TikTok the other day, and the first TikTok that I saw was about this book. Went on Goodreads. It's not even released yet, but you can get the physical book off Amazon, but whatever. There's like no reviews, it's just one. So I don't really know if it's a good book, because I would like some reviews. I do rely on reviews because I am a very picky reader. It sounds good. It's about this girl who's been preparing all her life for the day that the High Elf King will come and take her. Like, she knows he's coming for her, and so she's like, I'm gonna kill him. You know how it goes, the usual. Now that the day has come, forcing her to come Face to face with what she's hidden from, a dangerous dark-haired warrior king determined to marry her. Obviously this is fantasy romance. Well, I don't know if it is. It's fantasy for sure. I'm gonna assume that it's romance. I've never read a book this fresh, like, that I don't, yeah. And I read the first sentence and it's just the purple prose. I think that I'm using that correctly, but ma'am, relax a little bit. Okay, I'll read to you the first sentence of the prologue, because, like, I know you have to start your book strong, but please relax. In a small cottage filled with warmth and light, nestled at the edge of the Valley of the Sun, a scream whisked butterflies from their blooms. The gentle cry of the newborn baby filled the bedroom, a sound she had waited to hear for 9 months. Seraphina released her grip on the green fuzzy branch of the calming tree at her bedside. I'm gonna assume that I just cut up this past footage. My dyslexia is said, not today, bestie. You're not allowed to read aloud. Okay, anyways. Look, I have a lot of things to do. Am I slightly worried? Not really, because I feel like I have the time to do these things. I technically have 1 week to do all of this. I have to finish up my artist statement. Specifically, the artist statement. Okay. Specifically the artist statement for my project that still doesn't really have a name, but it kind of does. What it's going to be called in my exhibition is Will You Take This From Me Too, Sisaquinik? Yeah, that's Mayan at the end, so. Fun fact, I was trying to write out Sisaquinik, which is a Mayan phrase. My mom, aunt, and I do not know how to spell Mayan, so that was a fun challenge. A little stressful because, like, this is gonna go out into, like, a professional exhibit. And what if we were spelling it wrong? But it's also very reasonable because, like, colonization, we don't really know how to write our own language. Anyways, have my artist statement. My work seeks to reclaim my own story, and through that, the story of the peoples of Belize. It has always been take, take, take. From the moment colonizers breached our shores, we have had little to no power over our own image and stories. Now it is my time to give to you, the viewer, the privilege of these stories. I let the viewer in on the mundane moments of life. There is no exoticizing to be had here. Do not ogle, but understand us as I allow you in. See the tenderness I convey in these images. Accept the parts I show you and those I do not, for that is now, finally, my choice to make. Yeah, that's my art statement. I think that I'm going to use. My one-liner is, my work deals with the cultural representation that has long been dictated by the white gaze of colonization in Belize. Because I'm not only speaking on the Mayan culture, because part within that is that I didn't grow up in the village. I didn't grow up with just the Mayan culture. I grew up in Belize City, which is the melting pot, the center of the melting pot of all these cultures mixed together. So I would say that I grew up with Caribbean culture. So, due to colonization and to this day, modern day colonization, we were never encouraged to pursue the arts, so we don't really have that outlet to speak on our feelings about these kinds of things, like being stripped of our culture for generations, you know? I had to do a reading a couple of chapters from this wonderful woman's work, and I did a presentation on her last week, I think it was, week before. Hanauni K. Trask, she's Hawaiian, and she did a lot of, like, sovereignty in Hawaii and colonization and things like that. And she talks about how they come in and colonize the mind and the spirit. So good! I really need to write my paper so I can really get my thoughts out. The way that I was pitching this for the most part was most, if not all, of the media that has come out of Belize in the past decade, visual media, if you will, has been taken by white men, American European tourists. And if we do artistic work pertaining to Belize, we are taught to commodify our culture. So in my paper I'm talking about, like, commodifying culture, and obviously this has a lot to do with that as well because she's from Hawaii, where better example of commodifying culture. Yeah, so that's what my thesis is about. And it sounds very angry. I'll read through it and I'm like, wow, I sound super angry. Like, maybe I should peel back. But then, like, I am angry. What about it? You know? And, like, as a photographer, a lot of people don't think about who's behind the lens, but it matters. It really does matter because the photographer is showing you their view. They have control over the entire image. Nobody just takes a photo and is like, oh, it's objective. No, it's not objective. Like, the photographer made choices. No matter how little of a choice they think they made or you thought that they made, that doesn't matter. Especially with that kind of work, like cultural matter like that, you cannot separate art from the artist. And so that's what I want to impress upon, is that I'm not to be separated from this work. Other work like I have in my shop, I think that can more easily be separating the art from the artist. It's situational. That's my thesis. I finally talked to you guys about it because I kept putting it off because I don't know. I feel like there's just like a lot of things that, oh, and I need to write an abstract, which I don't know how to write an abstract, but I'll figure it out, okay? At some point. And I also need to continue working my frame and get my photo printed. These all seem very manageable, and I think I'll tackle it tomorrow. I think I'm gonna read for today, and then the real work starts tomorrow. But I feel like I'm putting it off. We can take some time and go and read. So I'm gonna try and do that. I know I got Ninth House on Monday, and I was gonna read Ninth House, but I had started Crescent City because I was waiting for Ninth House, and so then I was like, you know, I just need to finish Crescent City. I want to finish this before I read something else. But then I'm like, no, I want to sit and read a physical book, but because Crescent City 2 is on audio, and so yeah. And like, I'm somebody that can definitely take a break in the middle of books and read other books in the meantime, but there's just something about Crescent City because I love it so much. So thanks for listening to my rant.